winning team that shuts out impaired driving. Whether you're out on the town or just hanging out with friends, drink responsibly. Always have a plan for a safe ride home for yourself, your family, and your friends. You'll be helping to shut out impaired driving.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
Hey everybody, how are you doing? It's your boy DC, Thursday night host of Rogers Out of the Fog.
Right, you kind of got to make your own fun.
Yeah.
Which was a transition for me, going into the morning show here.
Proud. Keep doing the amazing work, will you?
They're learning about how to hire people.
20 years of local matter, so join me every Thursday night and see what's going on in the fog.
You're watching Rogers TV St. John's.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Out of the Fog. I'm your host, Laurabel. We have a fantastic episode in line for you folks today. We're going to be talking all things feminist theater, as well as getting to give a little bit of a sneak peek into what community giving can be like. So sit back, relax, and we'll get right to it. Welcome back, everyone, and I'm now joined by the one, the only, Jenn Deon, who is the Performance Artistic Director of PerSIStance Theater. Jenn, thank you for joining me.
Hello, Laurabel. Thank you for having me here.
I'm so excited to have you here, and I'm so excited for our viewers to get to know all about PerSIStance and all about the magic that is you.
Oh my God, everybody just buckle up for the next 3 hours. No, PerSIStance Theater Company is a feminist organization created in 2017. Okay. We use the power of professional storytelling to help change hearts and minds. Okay. So we were formed out of, well, Trump's election and the subsequent Women's March movement. I was able to go down to Washington, D.C. and sort of came back with this idea, and some wonderful women in the community came together with me to start the company. And now we are a registered charity and do all kinds of wonderful and exciting things.
So I got to know about you and the company, I think maybe a year ago now, and I happened to attend your first, well, my first Pink Gala.
Pink Tie Gala.
Yeah. Which was fantastic. But getting to hear about the people you work with and the stories you tell has been absolutely fantastic. So I want to ask a little bit about that. How do you pick the stories? How do the writers and team come together to put on these marvelous productions?
Well, our mandate includes responding to issues that impact girls and women in our community.
Okay.
So as you can imagine, there's a fair menu of issues that we can choose from. The gala that you attended last year had an Indigenous focus because we're just, well, not finishing, we're in our second year of presenting a new work written by an Indigenous West Coast playwright. Her name is Leah Dawn Helena. She wrote a beautiful play called Stolen Sisters. So it's performed by Deantha Edmonds, who is of Inuk descent. And making that show happen, we raise money to hire the playwright to write it. We workshop it with a mentor. This one then had a professional team, designers, actors, director, came together to make it happen. And then we send it out into the world. So this year it actually did a full Uktahumguk tour from powwow to powwow. This summer it was performed both in Miabukek and also in the Flat Bay Powwow, as well as a bunch of places in between. And then in January, it's going up to the north coast of Labrador.
Okay.
Which will be amazing. So that's just one example of a project. So yeah, we sponsor new work around ideas, commission playwrights. We also look for plays that are already written. Next season, we're producing 2 plays that have already, in fact, been published, but have had sort of their premieres in other places in Canada. We're going to bring that work to Newfoundland audiences instead. Our mandate also includes ensuring that women and other marginalized groups are always represented first in our company. So we have a predisposition to hire with that focus, and particularly in our leadership. Nothing about us without us, right?
Absolutely.
So that is what we do. So often our teams are all exclusively women and gender diverse folks making these shows happen, and that is a really lovely environment to work within.
Oh, that's absolutely fantastic, and I love seeing the results of the work that you and the team put together. So we're going to talk a little bit about next season.
Sure.
What is the theme for next season?
Well, we actually have a queer themed season next year. We've never really given a focus in that regard. So we're hoping to produce at least, 2 major works, of which there is a current casting call out now. So the first one is Leave of Absence by a BC playwright named Lucia Frangione. And it is a coming out story of a young gender diverse child. And importantly, the story centers around the people in their life who support them, the mother, the teacher, the priest in the community. So it's set in a Catholic school community. I think that will resonate with Newfoundland audiences very hard when many of us are find ourselves in positions to support youth in their coming out journey, and the importance of supporting that, particularly in the face of all the attacks across Canada right now, and the policies that they're trying to put in to suppress gender-affirming care and things like that. So we felt that was a really important story to present. Alex Reynolds is going to direct that, and that's going to go up at the Hall next July.
Oh my goodness.
And then in the fall, we're going to do a show called Unholy by Toronto playwright Diane Flax, which is framed in a form of a debate, asking the question, should women abandon religion? And this has a wonderful diverse cast. There's going to be an Iranian-Canadian lawyer, an Orthodox Jewish woman, a atheist older lesbian, an ex-Catholic nun. So it's a really lovely story to present. It also has of course, an LGBTQ plot line running through it in terms of identifying and coming out as a woman when you have the cross considerations of your religion. So while the older lesbian is out, the young Muslim lawyer, how is that influenced? How is she able to come out within her cultural and religious background? So it's just fantastic stories.
So I know there's a cool way we can support these stories coming out, and that has something to do with the fantastic gala of sorts?
Well, if you like to get dressed up and come on out, we're going to have, this year our Pink Tie Gala has been renamed the Rainbow Tie Gala because of our focus next year. So we try to reflect that in the evening that we present. November 18th at the CLB. We have our lead chef is the amazing Amy Anthony, who owns and runs the Nook and Cannery, and is also a huge member of the queer community. Just an incredible star. She's shutting down the restaurant
to come join us.
So her and her team can deliver our gourmet meal for us. The entertainment is going to be the Spectrum Queer Choir. We're going to be hosted by two-spirit comedian Janelle Niles, who's coming in from Ottawa. Also, our auctioneer is Barbara Bardot, the amazing drag queen. It's just...
We're well acquainted with Barbara.
Yeah, so it's just an incredible evening. So we really try to, again, everything we do Even in our fundraising, we try to live our themes and mandates and reinforce those. Poet L. Jones, of course, will be returning from Halifax. So yeah, so it's a really great night.
So we've covered all the great things that Persistence is going, but I know a little secret that someone is now a finalist for Entrepreneur of the Year.
Oh my God, that's no secret. That's all over our socials. Yeah. So yeah, I was nominated by our RBC Commercial Account Manager for the RBC Entrepreneur of the Year, Women's Entrepreneur of the Year Awards.
Yes.
So anyway, it turns out I'm a finalist in the social change category on a regional level.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So those awards, I will find out. They don't tell me in advance. So I gotta go, I gotta get all dressed up, and I gotta have both of my faces ready in the room at the Ritz-Carlton in November. I would be like, you know, if I win, I'll be like, oh. And then if I lose, you know, but anyway, so it's
a good thing you're in the arts.
I'm all ready for it. Yeah, that'll be my big, that's as close to the Academy Awards as I'll ever get. So that'll be fun.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But it's been an absolute pleasure getting to chat with you. But before we let you go,
sure.
If you wanted our viewers to know one thing about Persistence or about you, what parting message do you want to leave them with?
Well, we are building the first statue to a named woman in the city of St. John's. And that is followed by telling you there are no named statues to women from our history in the city of St. John's. So go to our website, PerSIStancetheatre.com, find out all about Armine Nutting Gosling. We're going to be putting her statue up on April 13th, 2025, which is the 100th anniversary of women gaining the right to vote, a movement of which she was one of the leaders.
And why was this so important to you and Persistence as a project?
Because again, women, legacy, we need to see the legacy of women from our history in a way that is relevant to our own lives now. Because the struggle of women is similar 100 years ago to where it is right now. Where are the buildings, where are the streets, where are the statues named after women? We need to start to address that imbalance.
So where do we go to find out how to contribute to this?
PerSIStancetheatre.com.
Perfect. And what are the dates again of the gala so people can make sure to join to continue to do the good work that you do?
Saturday, November 18th at the CLB.
That's where we will be.
That's great. I will love to see you there again.
And tickets online?
Tickets are online, or they can get a hold of me and I'll be happy to take care of them.
Jen, it's been an absolute pleasure getting to chat with you. Congratulations again. And I know the face that we will be seeing when you win is the...
Oh, well, you know, win or lose, it's just an honor to be nominated, Laurabel.
It's been an absolute pleasure to chat with you, Jen.
Oh, thanks so much. Me too. Love talking to you.
And we'll be right back, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. I'm now joined by Nicole Dawe, who is the Executive Director of Community Foundations of Newfoundland and Labrador. Nicole, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Laurabel, for having me.
I'm so excited to have you. So I guess the best place to start for our viewers would be to let them know what Community Foundations is.
Yeah, I would love that. So a community foundation is a registered charity and a public foundation that exists for the betterment of a specific place for now and in the future. So we are the Community Foundation for Newfoundland and Labrador, which means we're dedicated to the betterment of Newfoundland and Labrador, both now and into the future. We're part of the Community Foundations of Canada, so there are over 200 of us across the country, covering 90% of Canada's geography. And we've got the privilege and honor of being the Community Foundation for Newfoundland and Labrador, which is a provincial community foundation, which is a little bit different than some others in the network, but we often are a little bit different here in this province, so it makes sense we would do it our own way.
Okay, so what is, I guess, the mandate of Community Foundations as a whole, and then how does that narrow down to what you do within the province?
Yeah, so each community foundation, we're part of the network, but we are all our own kind of individual organizations that respond to our own communities and their needs and opportunities. So here in this province, our vision is really thriving Newfoundland and Labrador communities where everyone belongs. You see that aspect of belonging coming up in a lot of different community foundations, just because we know that to really feel like you belong to yourself and your community, that really amazing things can kind of grow from there. So that's what a lot of us are really committed to across the country.
Oh, that's so cool. So in building a sense of belonging and community within Newfoundland and Labrador, what are some of the things that your organization does on a, let's say, on a day-to-day?
Yeah, so we have a number of ways that we actually bring that to life. One of them is through donor funds. So we have a little over 40 donor funds that are connected to largely to individuals across the province who have given gifts or as part of their estate have given a bequest or a gift of life insurance to have giving happen. In the province in a specific area. About a little over half of those are connected to scholarships in high schools all across the province. That's one of the ways that we do that. We also steward investments and endowments on behalf of a number of charities, particularly performing arts organizations in the province. And then we help to do good granting. So that is from our own funds, as well as in partnerships with corporations and governments, usually as part of the community foundations of Canada.
Okay, so would you say that you guys work more directly with organizations and people who are trying to find a way to, I guess, get money into the hands of those who need it to help build more robust communities? Is that the best way to describe what Community Foundations does?
Yeah, we're often a bridge or facilitator in between those, really trying to figure out what has kind of meaning for donors and corporations that we might be working with, and then balancing that off with what are the most pressing needs and opportunities in the community. So one of the ways that we help with kind of that other side is through, in addition to the granting that we do and the applications we get to read and the relationships we get to build with community organizations and leaders, we also help to lead NL Vital Signs with the Harris Centre in the province. So Vital Signs is another Community Foundations of Canada initiative. We again are really fortunate to get to help lead NL Vital Signs here in this province with our great partner, the Harris Centre, which really helps to bring to the surface what are some of those challenges and also opportunities that are in front of us where we can help to inform how that charitable giving is happening towards those.
So do you mind expanding a little bit more on what NL Vital Signs is? Because I'm still a little bit new to the idea and how it works, so I'm sure our viewers are as well.
Yeah, so Vital Signs is a national and I think even global, so there are actually thousands of community foundations around the world that are kind of operating in this model of really allowing philanthropy and decisions to be very community-led. So Vital Signs is sort of the knowledge and data initiative that helps to underpin a lot of that. So here it's really focused on like a sort of well-being general community report, like how are we as a community, how are we doing, and bringing that forward. So the first number of years it focused very generally on health and wellness, on the economy, on the environment, all sorts of areas. Last year we did a deep dive on climate change in the province, really looking at the impacts of climate change for communities and also people in the province. And then we're just in the process of getting ready. We're shifting it to a spring launch from a fall. So in early spring 2024, we'll have another to share, which is again hoping to bring together sort of partners and information and stories to really help folks who really care about this place have great information about what are the challenges we need to be dealing with and also the opportunities we kind of need to be moving forward.
That's really cool to know that there's this way Community Foundations works to have a pulse on what's going on in the community and how best to support it. So let's say I'm a long-time donor and a long-time giver, and I'm looking at planning my future of making sure I'm able to continue to give long past my time. Would Community Foundations be a great place to like check in to kind of build that, I guess, bequest situation before? Would that be a way to kind of continue that giving?
Yeah, exactly. So a large portion of our funds and funds in general in community foundations do come from legacy giving, which is bequests and gifts of life insurance and those sorts of pieces. So yeah, we're always really excited to have those conversations to help folks figure out what's that balance between kind of what's on a donor's heart and then what's really important in community, and then how do we set it up so that it's able to support community for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, kind of whatever we're thinking, in a way that it's able to keep growing and moving alongside community in the best way. So we're always very happy to have those conversations, because sometimes people don't realize when they're, for folks who might be doing their will or any kind of estate planning, that you do have some amount of sort of power at that point to really say, I want to give back to my community at that point, and the ability to really see that come to fruition at that point in time as you're doing that planning.
Oh, that's so amazing to hear. So on a community end, so let's say I'm running a not-for-profit or a charitable organization, how do I get in contact to work with community foundations to hopefully be one of the recipients and beneficiaries of one of these planned givings? Yeah, for sure. So follow us on social media, or even, again, the granting that we facilitate. In the last year, we facilitated about $1.5 million of Government of Canada funds between the Investment Readiness Program and the Community Services Recovery Fund. So we do have other granting that happens outside of our own funds. So follow us on social media, sign up kind of on our website, or just reach out to me. Even though we don't, at this moment, have any granting open, one of the really amazing things that we strive for as a community foundation is to be connected with other funders, other resources that can kind of support community. So I always love having conversations with people who are in a community organization, a nonprofit, or a charity, just to know what they're doing and being able to offer what I can, whether it's from funds and resources that we might have, or saying, would you like me to do an introduction to so-and-so who I think might be interested in what you're doing, as we end up in a lot of sort of provincial, regional, and also national conversations just because of the organization we are. And sometimes we know about things that can really help other organizations, and we can help be that facilitator of getting that information to people. Oh, that's fantastic. So as your time as executive director, have there been any pivotal moments for you where you sat back and you're like, this is what I'm meant to do, this is where I'm meant to be, and I can't imagine doing anything else? Oh, I feel like that happened before I was in this role. Okay. Yeah, so I was really, I come from sort of a long line of folks kind of just committed to their community in my family, and I find it's interesting when we talk about that, as it's often in very small ways. So whether that's at Sunday dinner, always having extra plates of food that are going to people we know who need it, or picking folks up who need a ride on the side of the road, just those small ways that I feel like we really take care of one another. So that's been a big part of my whole life. And then I was in Calgary for about 10 years, doing my very unoriginal Newfie in a Calgary hat phase of my life. And as we went through the pandemic and we had a little girl, my partner and I, who's also from here, really thought, I think it's time to go home. We really wanted to head back and be here. And then as we sort of set that intention, we figured we'd just wait and see what sort of happened. And then this role sort of appeared, and I had the great privilege in Calgary of volunteering for almost that whole time, 10 years I've been in Calgary, with the Calgary Foundation, which is the community foundation for Calgary, and just really fell in love with the way that the public foundation really helps to center community and its voice and perspective in terms of how things are done. And so just kind of jumped at the chance to get to come home and help steward the community foundation for this place that I feel so grateful for. So if people want to, let's say, get a similar experience as you did in Calgary, and they want to volunteer and get involved, is that something they can do with community foundations in Newfoundland and Labrador? Yeah, they definitely can. Okay. So whether it's on the board or a granting committee, if folks are interested in those sorts of things, we're always happy to have those conversations for ourselves. Or again, we often, because we read so many applications and we have so many connections with nonprofits and charities in the province, if you're just wondering about, I really want to help give back, we are just always very excited to, again, be that facilitator of funds, of time, of talent, of any of that stuff to kind of help communities. Okay, and so where are the best places for us to find you, community foundations, to get a hold, just to start those conversations? Yeah, for sure. So our website is definitely a great spot. So in addition to signing up for our mailing list, you can find my email and phone number there. We are meant to be very accessible. So just reach out anytime, and we're happy to do that.
and the same thing on social media.
Perfect. And I know you guys aren't currently open in your granting season, but is there kind of like a calendar that people can know when granting is going on so they know the best times to reach out?
Yeah, I'm about 18 months into this role, and kind of as part of that with the board, we're doing a bit of to figure out what kind of our granting is going to be in the future, to make sure that we're trying to move that alongside community as much as we can. And we know that community is having to do a lot of applications and all these things, so we're really trying to think about how do we reform our granting process to be as kind of community centered as it can be. So I would say just get in touch and stay on our email list, and you'll definitely hear about it.
It's been so fantastic getting to chat with you. If you would like our viewers to know one final note about you or community foundations before you leave, what would you want them to know?
Yeah, just that no contribution is too small. So again, whether if it's choosing to do a small act of community in your everyday life, or giving a large or small, like bigger gift to the community fund and the funds that we steward on behalf of the province, it really does take a village to make this thing happen. And yeah, just kind of stepping into that role is very grateful for it, and also encourage folks to do it as much as they can.
Nicole, it's been an absolute pleasure getting to chat with you and share all the great work Community Foundations Newfoundland Labrador is doing within our province. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Laurabel.
And we'll be right back, everyone. I want to thank all of you for tuning in and joining me again today. I also want to give a very special thank you to my guests for taking the time to sit and chat with me. Thank you to Jenn Deon and sharing all that she had to do on PerSIStance Theatre. If you're looking to check out this year's gala, don't forget to check them out on social media and get your tickets. And thank you to Nicole Dawe for sharing all that valuable information about community giving and how you can be part of Community Foundations Newfoundland and Labrador. I can't wait to see you guys all again next time, and have a great rest of your day.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
If you have a comment about this program, we'd love to hear it. Email or call us, or send us your feedback through social media.
Summer days, summer nights, lots of things to do, places to go, and people to see. If you're having a few drinks, be sure to plan ahead and get home